What's up, everybody? You know, the very first slingshot I ever purchased was a Daisy slingshot. The Daisy slingshot was also the reason why I almost didn't continue in the world of slingshots. That's not to say that it's not a good slingshot or hasn't been good for other people, because I know that it's gotten a lot of people into the game. So I don't want to speak bad about it, but so much. Nevertheless, I did not do well with it. I just couldn't master it, and I almost didn't continue on until I discovered other frames and started learning how to shoot them. In this video, I want to go back and get my revenge. I want to go back and conquer the Daisy slingshot to see if I can use some of the practices I have learned with some of these newer frames on that frame. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for taking time to click on this video. I wanted to take a moment to say hello to all of my subscribers, and I wanted to greet all the new visitors as well. My name is Daniel. Welcome to 411 Outdoors. If you're new to this channel and you find it resourceful or helpful or uplifting, encouraging, entertaining, any of that good stuff, I would be super excited to have you as a new subscriber. Just don't forget to click that bell. Now let's get going. Today, I'm going to be out and about running some work-related errands. While I'm out, I'm going to go in Dunham Sporting Goods to see if they have any more of the Daisy slingshots, because I'm going to be straight up with you. I threw mine away. I bought it, used it, couldn't do well with it, ended up just tossing it in the trash can once my slingshot collection began to grow. I don't know why I would do something like that, or why I just didn't give it away, but maybe it was just a certain mood I was in or something. But I'm kind of regretting that I did that, because now I got to go back and get another. They're not too expensive. I think they're about $8, so I'm gonna be going to Dunham's to see if they've got one in stock. All right, it looks like I'm going to be in luck, my friends. Here's their collection. Some other wrist rockets here. That thing looks pretty serious. Pro Diablo slingshot. The Cobra. And those are some massive pieces. Anyhow, looks like I'm gonna pick this Daisy up for $8.99 and be on my way. My last one was actually a wrist rocket like this, but I just don't think it's gonna be necessary for what I'm looking to do today. So we're gonna go with the old F-16. All right, everybody, here it is. The Daisy slingshot is now back in my collection once again. This one's a little different. I had the wrist rocket the first time, but just gonna go with this one this time. A little bit later on today, I'm gonna get out and take all kinds of shots with this and put it through all kinds of testing. Looking forward to doing that. One thing I can tell you about these slingshots is if you get one and if you like it and if you shoot it a lot, you gotta have plenty of these tubes around. I remember that these things do not last. I remember going through a lot of these tubes. So they don't seem to last too long when you're out shooting for whatever reason. So I wanted to give you that tip in advance. As I've said before, I had a hard time hitting anything with the Daisy, but I never looked on the back of this to really kind of look at their instructions. According to theirs, it's you hold the handle with the target center between the Y of the yoke. Move up and down to change aim points based on distance to target. So I find that interesting. So I'm going to be messing around just to see if I can become more accurate, knowing what I know now after, shooting about 1.5 years. All right, everybody, I'm going to come right back to where I started shooting slingshots, which was right here in this spot, because when I first started shooting, I didn't have a 411 campground. I didn't create that campground until after my dad passed, and I needed something to do. What I want to do is come out here today with this Daisy and see if I can apply some of the things I've learned shooting all these other frames and make a difference in my shooting, because when I first started with this, I just couldn't make a connection. It wasn't until I started shooting things like the Scout before I started getting good. So I'm going to see if I can apply some of that stuff here and see if we can get something done. When you pull these things back, they feel really heavy, like they could just shoot any kind of sized ammo, but they don't retract as fast. And so it all just kind of varies, but I'm just gonna shoot some various pieces of ammo here. I'm gonna shoot a piece of 1/2-inch steel. I'm just gonna shoot a little bit of everything, see what I can get done. So I'm gonna switch now to some 3/8 steel, see if I can shoot this a little further. Nope. Having to move up a little bit closer, I'm just losing too much velocity. But then again, I was shooting from about 40 to 50 feet a minute ago. Let's see what we can do here with about 25 to 30 feet. Hadn't mastered it yet. All right.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah! Okay, so if I aim this thing the way that I aim a typical caddy, you know, those of you who shoot these things know what I'm talking about. You know, you're putting the, you know, the targets up here, right here at the tip. Doesn't work with this, because when I do that, I'm shooting too low. What I'm having to do is come up into the middle of the Y to make a connection.
You mean not good like 1 out of 100?
More like 1 out of a million.
All right, friends, so here's the deal. If there was any conquering to be done today regarding the Daisy Slingshot, it wasn't done by me. I did make some observations, though, that I can share with you. Most of my shots that I hit with this, I hit shooting upright. It's just a basic upright shooting slingshot. When I turned it sideways, I had to put my sights in the middle. If I didn't sight this thing right in the middle, even sideways or gangster style, I wasn't making a connection. I was shooting off. I do not like this at all. I made this video because I wanted to see if shooting these other frames would make an improvement here. But what I've learned is that garbage in, garbage out. I'm not trying to offend those of you who love the Daisy Slingshot and have got it mastered. We're all on a different path when it comes to these things, but for me, this is garbage compared to what I'm shooting on a regular basis. I'm still not surprised that I was ready to put away slingshots after shooting this. I just don't like it. I don't like these tubes. I don't like the dynamic. I don't like the inconsistency as far as sighting. It's just not consistent. Your best bet with something like this is to develop as much instinctive skill as you can, because I don't think this is a slingshot that you can sight with. I think you just have to develop instinctive skills if you're going to shoot this. Does this work well for some people? I'm sure it does. I'm sure there's some big fans of the slingshot, but for me, I don't like it, and I'm reminded today as to why I got rid of this. So I'll keep it around as a reminder. I'll keep it around. Someone else might be able to make good use out of it, but did I conquer the Daisy Slingshot? No. All I did was reaffirm how I felt beforehand. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. After all that madness, I've got to get my sanity back by going out and shooting a real slingshot, like the Sparrow. That's what I'm talking about right there.